All right. What's up, Jim?
Hey, what's going on, man? See, now I gotta think. I usually draw like cats and stuff.
Yeah, draw cats, man. That's cool.
All right.
If you don't know what to draw a beautiful woman. That's what I would say. That's what I need more of.
Or a beautiful cat.
Yeah, beautiful cat.
Beautiful cat. Yeah.
Draw a cat so sexy that I don't want to fuck it, man. That's be good for you.
See. Yeah, there was opening for this band called Tokyo Police Club, which is like
I hardly started
yeah, Canada, man.
What about Canada?
I think they're from Toronto. I think everybody from Toronto. I don't know anything about Canada, so I think that everyone.
You ever been to Canada?
Nah.
All right.
But like, they tell me that we decriminalized it, but let's decriminalize it.
I think they're legalizing, like they're going all the way eventually with weed shit in Canada. That was the last I heard about it. That guy Justin Trudeau or whatever, the prime minister there, seems pretty laid back.
Oh, the guy who everyone has a crush on?
Supposed to be a handsome prime minister as far as these things go.
I mean, anybody is handsome compared to like who's in office right now.
Compared to Donald Trump? Yeah.
Politics
People talk about his
aside.
wife being so attractive too. It's like, I don't know, she doesn't really do anything for me.
Nah.
Not to be so mean-spirited about it, I'm sure she's a nice lady and all, but damn, she's not, she ain't my type.
I like people with a little bit more melanin. But
Melanin?
but that's
Melanin?
like that's neither here nor there though.
I got you.
A little bit more assets and melanin.
How long you been drawing for?
Like my whole life.
Yeah.
But I stopped for a while and I started again.
What happened?
Well, I was like, let me start filming stuff. But then I wasn't really good at filming stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
then I was like, I might as well start doing something that like I'm kind of okay at. You know what I mean?
It's weird that, like, if you got a visual sense or like an ability to create things visually or good taste in like art and stuff, that you wouldn't be able to do that. How much trying did you do with the video stuff? What'd you try to do?
Well, I wouldn't call it trying because I would just get like high and stuff. So like,
Yeah, but-
and I get like lazy and I'm like, I don't want to finish this. Like,
How did you conceive of them though? Did you like write out scripts and blah blah blah? Did you try to shoot? Excuse me. Did you try to shoot the scenes and stuff that you were thinking about?
yeah, usually I would try to like make up scripts, but then I'd be like, okay, let's do it.
All right.
But then once you start doing it, then I'm like, man, this is hard. Like it's like, cause there's so many like different moving parts, and you have to control so many things about this. Like so many people involved, you can't just do it yourself. So, like this right here, you can do it yourself. I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I don't gotta worry about anybody else.
Right.
I don't worry about no sound people.
Comedy
Yeah.
is along the same vein, I guess, man. It's like you can at least write it all yourself. Like you don't have to think of anybody like that. And then you can go to by yourself to the open mic. You don't have to. You don't need to organize anybody else. It's sort of all. You can just show up and do everything by yourself in a sense.
Yeah, it's like if you don't do it, it's on you.
Right.
And you don't have to ask somebody, oh, can you help me go to this open mic so we could, because I don't know how to do this thing. Like I'd be like, can you help me edit because I don't know how to do this thing? Like
Different.
I don't ask nobody else to write your jokes unless you. I don't know what other people do. Do other people ask them to write
I don't think
their
at this
jokes?
point anybody could be like letting go of any jokes they're writing to have anybody else have them. You know.
Yeah, you're right.
Like if you wrote a good joke, you need to save it to advance your own.
Yeah, we're not in the selling jokes business right now.
Also,
at
who's
this
in the
point.
buying jokes business? Who the fuck is a bunch of dog walkers and shit? Nobody's really.
Yeah, nobody's buying you for my
right.
jokes. But I heard like back in the day, there was like, dude got on. I forget who it was, but he got on by selling his jokes, and I'm like, that's such a weird concept that you're selling jokes.
Yeah.
Who would buy jokes?
I mean, I think it's about the generation we're in, where like back then they had like a Joan Rivers or a fucking who's a Rodney Dangerfield, Like I think those guys would literally like buy one-liner jokes from people, and maybe that was something you could do. I think Gary Shandling sold jokes to somebody. I'm blanking out on who it was.
It was like less personal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's more the like, boom, 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 boom. Cause that's how they used to tell jokes, right? It's just like, da 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 da. Well, people still tell jokes like that, but I mean like more
Right.
so with, you know what I mean?
Well, comedian was more like an actor or something. It wasn't like it was. There was no expectation. Just like you don't expect when you go to a play that they wrote all the stuff themselves or whatever. Like I just don't think people didn't have comic in that category. There was no art to the writing itself. People just wanted to be entertained, I think.
Yeah, people are more comedy nerds now.
Oh,
It's
for
like,
sure.
It's like, oh, I understand the process. Like, oh, he's working on that bit. Like, you know what bit means?
Right,
I
yeah.
didn't know what bit
Well,
means.
yes. I'm totally lost about that. Like, I don't know what the average person knows versus what they don't know. But yeah, I agree. I'm surprised if somebody wants to. Try to talk to my parents about it because they're always asking me like how things are going, you know, like how's comedy going.
Oh, where?
And, yeah.
Your parents ask you about your comedy and stuff like that?
Yeah, what? Is
they-
it your big secret or whatever for your parents?
Yeah, like
Your
they
parents
don't know
even
that.
Do they even know you're out right now, Jimmy?
Like,
Huh? Do they know you've left the house?
only reason why they know that I'm like, that I do comedy is because I told my friend, right? And then he told my dad. And then my dad told everybody. So now they
Yeah.
don't know how to do. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But they're like,
Was that
oh,
what you were trying to avoid or whatever? You just didn't want it blown up like that?
I just wanted it to be secret.
Right.
So I could be like, oh, yeah.
Well, it is kind of a thing. Like I know what you mean in the sense like I wouldn't want to tell anybody until like I was starting to make money at it and being like that it was like a real thing or whatever. I don't need to everybody know about my hobby, this thing that I'm trying to do in the meanwhile. But the problem is it takes so long to get successful. Like you just can't have this secret thing that you're
Yeah,
doing
you're like,
every
why-
single night that you're gonna keep from people that know about you. It's crazy.
He's like, oh, why can't you go out to this thing? Oh, I'm going to New York. Why you keep going to New York for? Like, you got some girls out in New York. Nah. So what you going to New York for?
Right.
I'm doing comedy. Oh, word. I want to go see you do comedy. Nah, you don't.
Oh yeah.
Like, they don't understand. Like, nah, you don't. Not at this point.
Right.
They think like, oh, I was talking to this girl, right? About like, cause Dave Chappelle before he came out with these new Netflix specials.
Yeah.
And she was like, I was like, yeah, and you go practice these jokes or whatever. And she was like, oh, you practice jokes?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, you do that. She's like, oh, I didn't think they did that. I thought they just go up on stage and just say what they feel.
Oh, that's
Which is like, some people do that, but like,
yeah, but I totally understand. That's what people should be thinking in a sense, you know. Like that's what I expect people to be, how they should understand it. I don't know. Maybe it'd be better if people realized that. But the illusion that's trying to be created in some sense is that this guy is like got all the answers in the world, you know. That every single thing that comes out of your mouth is funny. Like they want to imagine you being that funny 24 hours a day, and that's like part of the pleasure for them, I think.
it's like, oh, you probably hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. They can imagine like not being friends with you, but just having some person like you in their life and like always had some funny thing to say. There's like some sort of fantasy element to it, I think, like that I try not to.
Yeah, there's like being a funny guy at work or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just like the worst. Which I'm saying that because I am the funny guy at work.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, and you
like,
hate yourself, so that's
I'm
why.
like, I don't like that. It's like, oh, Jim, oh, you da-da-da-da, yo, I need to go see you. I'm like, nah, you don't
Right.
need to go see me, yo.
Telling people at work is a mistake. I try to hide it from people at work for as long as I could. You know, it's like even if somebody came out to see you, what would be the worst thing in the world, man? They'd see you, you wouldn't do good, or you would do good, or they would like you or they wouldn't like you. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad, but it's just like, they already got a view of you. So
Right.
it's like, they already think you're funny.
True.
So you're like, oh, cool, they think I'm funny.
I
I
guess-
think I'm funny too.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
And then you're worried about hurting their feelings when they find out how the rest of the world don't agree with the two of you. Yeah.
Like, oh, he's not funny.
Oh,
okay.
I didn't see it that way. I'm such a fool.
That's like the ultimate fear. Is like all your family comes out, supports you, and they can't even support you because you know and they know. Like somebody knows like that's not funny.
Yeah, but that's not even the way. Like I went, my first show I invited my parents to, because I've tried this a couple times now, like having my parents come to see me do comedy, just as a fear thing. Like I'm afraid of doing it, so like I almost try to do it occasionally just to, I don't know, test myself or torture myself or what. But they saw me bomb real hard at a place, Pianos, in the Lower East Side. Which I thought was going to be like a classy venue, whatever. Plus, I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years by now. Like, I thought I had to do 10 minutes. I was like, I got 10 minutes in the bag, no problem. It was so loud, like everybody was shouting, and then like comic after comic after comic before me bombed, and I was like, so at least I got to see me bomb with everybody else bombing, you know.
Yes,
but then I ate it just as hard as everybody else, and it sucked.
They're like, oh, you're not the worst. Just everybody was doing bad that day.
But the idea then they could like, oh, I saw there were some jokes in there that were good. Like a lot of times people, if they see a joke not do well, they'll think the joke is bad because they also don't like the joke. But like that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad joke or that it wouldn't do good, and it's just like some kind of confirmation bias or whatever. What the fuck am I talking about?
I mean, I kind of understand that. It's like...
But I mean, it's just because somebody doesn't think a joke is good, and then it doesn't do well in one situation. It's like you didn't see the last 8 times I did this joke, and it worked 8 times in a row. So you're wrong, even though you just saw it not work.
So the one part where it doesn't work, like, oh, this joke is not funny. This guy is not funny.
Right.
I'm like, yo, I've done good in front of these other people. You wasn't there, but you come to the point where like, or comes to the place where I do really, really bad, and now that's your a representation of me, like you think that I'm bad. Which right. I mean, probably, most likely, I am bad. You know what I mean? But like, I don't want you to know that just yet, you know?
Nah, Jim, you're funny, and you talk. You have a different kind of act, I think, than most people do. Do you think about it like that, like a type of comedy that you're doing, or is like? Could you imagine doing comedy a different type of way, where you're doing more one-liners, or you were doing more, I don't know what else, like, fucking.
Probably do comedy this way just because I'm just so always tired. So
oh, really?
It's just like if I wasn't so tired, I'd probably be like, you know, like who, like Vince is like really up and like, you know what I mean? Like, but that's
telling
so
me like
much.
You with a cup of coffee is Vince, man? That's crazy.
Nah, probably not.
Yeah,
but like
nuts.
somewhere,
you're not, you know,
somewhere closer to like, closer to more active.
Right.
What was what like I would probably ideally want to do, but I'm like, this is probably better because I'm thinking in the long term, like if I want to keep doing this, which is I do want to keep doing this, probably like. If I'm doing show after show after show after show, being that active is gonna wear and tear. Cause
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? But doing this is like wearing and tearing. Like,
all right. But when it's all you gotta do, it'll be less wearing and tearing, I imagine.
Well, yeah.
And then what about that? I don't know. I heard some Chris Rock interview where he was like, he does his jokes really monotone and without like his like personality on top of them to see if they work. And then he'll, like, when he goes out to do his tours, then he throws the personality on top of him, and it, like, shoots him into the stratosphere. So that could be something, like, a way you could fucking lie to yourself that you're doing the right thing, and think about, like, oh, I'm just doing them low-key now, but then once I turn that Jim White charm on him, then I'm gonna blow him away.
I couldn't even think of me because ideally I would want to do that, but then I'm like, that's so much work. And also, I'm like mad lazy.
Right.
I told you I was mad lazy before, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm like, so just like the idea of doing something like that is so tiring. Just thinking about it, it's like so much more tiring.
Yeah, I think if it was routinely getting you better results doing comedy, though, you probably would do it. You know, I've been thinking about that as like, oh man, maybe if I did more voices or did more flagrant hand gestures or something, you know, if I was just a little more alive, that'd be better. You know, maybe you'd catch people who just need a cue to start laughing, you know.
You got a pen or something?
I work here? You don't fucking pit now.
I gotta like open these. Or do they have like a little? Nah, you gotta poke them, right?
The top of the thing and pokes it.
Oh,
Like the top of the cap.
I'm stupid.
You're the second person though who didn't.
You know, I've worked with these before, which I don't know why I didn't think that they had.
Well, I'm not supposed to explain paint to you, James. So I would never. Now you're not so fucking high and mighty on your goddamn paint milk cart.
It was like, yeah, but it was kind of funny how you was trying to explain the different types of paint.
This is your white paint here, your high gloss. This is your, I don't know, what's good kind of paint? If you were gonna paint something inside, what would you paint with?
Usually the scene you want to go with is satin or matte. Satin eggshell base or like a matte base.
Yeah.
Matte is in between
what's
flat
brand
and satin.
though? What's the
best brand? If
I
you
don't know,
just
what would you use because it was like also very good but like not expensive?
That's very good and not expensive.
Or like the thing if you were painting your own house, what would you want to use so it lasted a long time but it wasn't costing $1 million?
Either like during the sale, super paint,
right?
Or Benjamin Moore has this thing called Aura, which was really good. But like, probably shouldn't say the competitions thing. But it's like they do have really good paint though. Like, everyone has like different types of. No one has like the best paint. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it's like everyone has.
Super cheap paint is shitty though, isn't it? Yeah. Like it'll wear through faster than like good paint.
Home Depot paint is ass. Like it's no doubt. Like,
yeah,
ass. Like it's really bad.
Is it super cheap though?
Yeah, it's really cheap.
Oh, okay.
But like, if you want to just slap something on, you might as well go with that. But if you really want some good paint to like, they probably use some good paint in here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they like, I don't know, like you see like they got this cross-hatch pattern on the floor and shit. These things peel up all the time. And then like the floorboards over by this is very minor complaints, obviously, you know what I mean? I think it's an alright place. But they're all chipped up, man. They didn't fix them before I got in here. Bathtub's kind of stained. I don't know.
No, it's like,
no matter what, you got your complaints.
Yeah, no matter where you are, there's always something that's gonna mess up on
Certainly
it.
for me, man. I could never imagine being so happy that you stop complaining about things. That'd be crazy.
That would be ridiculous. I don't think that I could ever stop. Cause how do you get rid of stress if you don't complain about stuff?
Right.
Somebody told me it was like, well, I don't mean to complain. I'm like, nah, I complain. Like, how you supposed to keep that all in, or whatever. But yeah, I do sell paint, so I do know about that. I'm thinking of whether.
Oh yeah, so I was asking you about drawing. When did you realize you could draw?
Like in second grade.
I've seen a ton of your drawings, man. You're a great artist.
Like I could draw. I'm not really much of a painter. But
I take it back. You took it so easily. I almost don't want to mean it anymore. Yeah. I hate confidence, man. Anytime I see somebody being confident, it makes me sick. That's my problem. Obviously, that's my problem. You know what I mean? You're allowed to know what you're good at.
I mean, I'm not great, but I mean, like, it's one of the
but you're very
things
good,
like,
man. I like seeing everything that you draw. It's wonderful. Oh, but yeah, so I'm saying, so when did you realize that you were like a better artist than like, I don't know, your peers, your little kid buddies?
Well, I mean, whenever you could do something better than other people, they ask you to do it.
Right.
So when all like the little kids in second grade would ask me like, you could draw me this thing for me real quick?
Right.
And then one time I drew this, they asked me to draw, they were like, can you draw this lady, but she's naked though, and her titties is out, and then da-da-da. I was like, okay, all right, I'll show you, but she's also a rhino.
Yeah?
I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
All right.
So I drew it, and then they took it and they showed it to the teacher.
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Throw away whatever you're painting me right now, man. That sounds so cool. You did do that on that big canvas I showed you, man. I'm going to get as much paint as you need. That's awesome. As a rhino, too?
It was a rhino, and they were like, this is cool. And they
I'll put it in my bedroom, man. It'll be fucking erotic.
It's like, I was like, I was really proud of that, too. I was like, this is really good. And then they showed it to the teacher, and I got in trouble. And he was like, this is not.
Oh, now it's like you brought a toy gun to class, and like they're going to suspend you or something.
Yeah, but I was friends with the guy who brought a gun to class.
Yeah, what happened to him?
But he ain't like shoot anybody. But he brought a gun to class and he was just like showing it to people.
Yeah.
he was like.
What kind of gun was it? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember what type of gun it was.
Right.
But he had it and he had it in his book bag. He would show it to everybody. And then I was in the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
And dude was he was showing it to his friend, and he goes to me. He's like, "You want to see something cool?" I'm like, "Okay." He took out a gun and he was like, "Look at this, cool." And I'm like shaking. I'm like, "Yeah, it's really cool." Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Look what I can do." So he put it up to my friend Alex, right? His head like this. He's like, he put it up to his head. He's like, look what I can do. It was that was in 6th grade.
All right, so
and
like
he was
10,
like,
11, something like that.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, this is cool." Like, "Yeah, that's cool." And then I saw Alex. He was like, "Yo," he was like, "Don't say it's cool." Like you say to him, you know somebody, you know somebody for a while, and they're giving you like subliminals.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, "Say it's cool," like in his eyes. And I was like, "Yeah, this is really cool."
Right.
And he put it to his head, and then I was like, "All right, cool." And I left the bathroom. I felt bad because like I didn't even try to help him. I just left the bathroom. I was like,
"There's nothing you could do in that situation."
I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. Yeah."
You ever have a gun pointed at you?
Nah, not at all.
Really?
Which is like very surprising because like I used to.
You've been in gun should be pointed at you sort of situations?
Not even. I would just like I used to work in an amusement business in Patterson.
What's the amusement business?
It was if you know the bouncy houses and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know about that.
I used to like do that and popcorn and like cotton candy and all that, like mad circus shit, like mad carnival shit. So I used to do that.
All right.
And there's a lot, like when people in Patterson get mad, like this when guns come out. So like,
really?
So like that's why
Really?
I'm like, and then kids are involved, so like you gotta expect that. But like I was never in
Can't
that
expect
type
what?
of,
Guns?
you gotta expect, cause like my friend, my
Kids
friend,
like kids who would be having their own guns, not like
not the adults, like because they have kids. So like
So you have a gun because you have kids?
you have a
Like
gun 'cause
on
you live in
you?
Patterson, not because you have kids.
What's up in Patterson, man?
That's like where Fetty Wap is from.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
haven't I been through Patterson? I'm trying to think.
You probably have. So if you've been through Patterson, there's a good part of Patterson, and the rest is just like a lot of, just like warehouses and stuff. It's like more of like a city area.
All right.
Yeah, more of like a industrial, but then like other parts are just crackheads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, but cause my cousin, he worked it before me,
Right.
cause it's a family business, and then my uncle was notorious for like, not my uncle, but my other uncle, cause my uncle like put in work. My other uncle, he ain't putting in no work. He was just sitting in the car just chilling, right?
All right.
So we had to unload tables and chairs. That was another part of the business. He was unloading tables and chairs in like the projects area, and then he saw him like one of the drug dealers saw him like he's unloading stuff.
Yeah.
He goes to him like, "Yo, he should help you." He's like, Nah, he good. So he should help you though.
Yeah.
So then he like pulled up his shirt like he should help you. Like so like with his gun there, he's like he should help you. He was like, so my cousin went to my uncle. He's like, yo, help me, cause he's gonna shoot you. Help me. I was like, that never happened to me. I just like,
I had a gun pointed at me once. You want to hear that story?
oh yeah, let me hear that story.
Alright. So, I used to sell weed and shit back in college and so on and so forth. Went to some, I don't know, sketchy places to go get it. Like, you'd go pick up the pounds and then, like, divvy them up. And I think there were people around who maybe had guns, but I never saw a gun outside of, like, someone's dad had it sort of scenario, or, like, you know, going to a gun range or something like that. So, I was in New Orleans. I was living, this guy had a house, and then he had a fucking, give me something else to listen to.
You listen to Big Grams?
What's that?
It's like a rap group with
Big,
you know Big Boy,
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
Grams. It's like BIGGRAMS. It's
Yeah,
like
that-
with Big Boy from Outkast,
Uh-huh.
and this band called Grams, I think. Well, it has to be because it's called Big Grams, right?
Uh-huh. Let's see. Is this like it?
I think that's
Adult
probably
Swim.
it.
Hold on. Is it from Adult Swim?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is
All right,
it.
this be it.
Mhm.
All right, cool. So anyway, I was living. This guy had a house, and I was living. He had a garage, and then above the garage there was like a one-bedroom, like a one-room apartment. It was like a studio or whatever with its own bathroom. So I was living up there, you know, and it was like $600 a month. It's pretty good, man, for New Orleans at the time. And I got locked out, and what I did was because it was above the garage, it was the second story, but like my apartment was right up against like the fence with the neighbor's property. So I ran around over to them and I knocked on the door and I was like, hey, my landlord's gonna give me a ladder. This is what I wanted to tell him. Like, I'm gonna be in your backyard because I have to get into your backyard in order to put the ladder up to get up to the second story window where my apartment is. So because I know the window was open, so I could push the window open, I could crawl into my apartment and get back in. So anyway, this is what I wanted to go tell him. I go knock on the door, man. Nobody's there. Now listen, I didn't ring the doorbell. I'll admit that.
Okay.
But I did knock on the door, like hard, hard enough to be heard. And nobody came to there was no way to see. They didn't have a driveway, so there was no way to see whether they were home or not. I didn't see lights or nothing. So I was like, oh, okay, they're not home. Go back to my landlord. It's like he's out in the thing trying to help me because he didn't have a copy of my key for some fucking reason. And then I ran around with the ladder. I put the ladder up, and then I'm like a ladder, and then like my legs are hanging out of the window, and I'm trying to crawl through, and then I hear this guy behind me like freeze, like he's like screaming at me. I'm like, oh no. He's like, I have a shotgun pointed at you right now, and I want you to get out of that house. And I'm like, whoa, dude, this is my house. I was the one who came and knocked on your door. I'm trying to talk a mile a minute, get him off. Dude is like really mean about it. Calls the cops. Cops come. I have like weed in the apartment and shit. Now I gotta stay, but I'm like, anyway, so I'm inside my apartment. I open the door, cops come, I gotta talk to them. They're like, yeah, all right. My landlord was there. My landlord explained it all, what was going on. I wasn't doing anything that crazy. I was trying to get back into my own apartment. So, cops go away. Next day, ready for this? I go over with a fucking bottle of wine, go over to their door, like at 6 o'clock, knock, piece things. I knock, fucking 60s gay couple, fucking, the other guy who didn't point the gun at me was so nice, and he was like, thank you for coming over, man, we appreciate it. Other guy was still a fucking dick. I was like, yo, you pointed a gun at me for trying to get into my own house. I knocked on your goddamn door. I couldn't believe it. He was still, well, you still shouldn't have. Blah, blah. I was like, what is this guy thinking, man? So that was the only time anybody ever fucking pointed a gun at me, was this fucking dude.
When you said New Orleans, I was thinking like some Lil Wayne type shit. Yeah. But you said a 60s gay couple.
Yeah. The other guy was nice, man. The guy who pointed the gun at me, maybe he was just like embarrassed for having pointed a gun at somebody. Anyway, I didn't like that.
Nah, that's a good story, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I knew you lived in New Orleans, but I didn't know like where in New Orleans you live.
A couple different neighborhoods. I lived in where the college is that I went to, Tulane. It's in the neighborhood. It's called Uptown, but it's like really to the west. It's like the west part of the city, and then New Orleans is really kind of like a west to east to west sort of place. And then I moved to the Garden District, which is lower east, but south of St. Charles. Like New Orleans is sort of bisected by this street St. Charles that goes like all the way east to west through the whole city, pretty much.
Is that how you differentiate where you're from?
Yeah, it's real neighborhood based over there. So it's like the same way you'd be from a Bed-Stuy or a Chelsea or a whatever. Like people there from the Bywater or I don't know, Upper Ninth or whatever.
Most things are like that though.
Yeah. They got names for all their shit.
I don't know if this picture turned out. I don't know if this picture turned out good.
Sorry, man.
We'll see.
I got another one, man. So if you wanted to throw it out and try again, there's no shame. But try to save it if you can, I guess.
Oh no, I'm just like, it's gonna be weird.
Good.
We'll just start out as something, now something completely different. Which I think, alright, we can make it work.
I tried to make a painting, you know, and I started off with something in my head, and I started drawing that, some at least pattern thing. And then I didn't know what I was getting into with that oil paint. Like, you really have to be an expert to paint with oil paint. It's hard, or at least you got to know some trick about it that I don't know, because everything just started running into each other and it just turned into like a gray slab of shit. And I was trying to do everything I could to save it, but it
was mostly about like layers, right? Don't you have to like let it dry and shit like that?
I think that must be the. I think you need to put some days between what you're doing. But it's like, who wants to paint like that? It's boring, man. I don't want to put down this first thing and the second thing.
But it looks really good if you.
Yeah, that's true.
But you got to be extra with that shit. Yeah. You got to be acting like I know names of artists.
I know. Oh no, another paint fact. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just gonna
Buttercup.
Just like name artists I like. Yeah, I don't know like real artists. Like, I mean,
Picasso. I don't know. What do you? Renoir.
Like Rembrandt and stuff like that.
Rembrandt.
Or my favorite artist, Jean-Michel Basquiat.
What's who?
You know the guy with the dreads who used to hang out with Andy Warhol.
Give me his name again.
Jean-Michel is Gean Michel Basquiat. I think it was some like the island, but I just like him because he knew he wasn't good at like drawing or anything like that.
Right.
And most of his like things were like text based, graffiti type. You know what I mean, like that over there. Like if you probably seen that. Like one of his paintings somewhere. Like
got a familiar style, yeah. If you walk around, you ever walk down Houston between like here and like somewhere between here and Avenue A or something like that? They got whole panels of like graffiti artist shit. They're just repainting them now. Actually, it's kind of interesting to see.
I bet you
it
one
made
of
me
them
think about you coming over because I was like, oh man, some art shit. But a lot of those panels are done in this style, if not, obviously not by this artist.
Yeah, he's big. He's big.
He's still living? What's his deal?
Oh no, he died of overdose.
Which drug?
Heroin.
Don't want to fuck with that heroin.
Yeah, he locked himself in his studio.
Yeah.
Cause like his paintings was making mad money, like a lot of money. But I just like him because he knew he couldn't draw.
Right.
He knew he wasn't really good at painting.
Right.
But he's like, they loved him in the art world. He had really weird hair. And he got so many bitches, right?
Yeah.
Or women, because
what's a woman?
He got so many women because he was like the head of the art, like he was like the height of high art, all that type of stuff. Yeah. And like he looked like that. He had weird hair. He had like mad crooked teeth.
Oh yeah.
So like it was mostly just he was, you know what I mean, like off of. He's
not like disgusting looking or nothing. He looks like a handsome guy.
No, he's a handsome guy.
Yeah,
but if they saw him on the street just looking like that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I imagine this is an earlier time too. He probably looked crazy back then, but yeah, that's cool. I feel like similar like that. Like I have some sort of art inside of me that I can't get out through. I don't know. I can't learn music. Like I could play instruments a bit, but I'm not good with languages or whatever. So I've had a lot of trouble learning how to read music. I can't draw, man. I can't make things in my head appear on a piece of paper. It's crazy to me. I couldn't even draw a circle that looks like a circle. Like,
I feel like anybody could draw. It's just, it's not talent. It's repetition.
Right. Yeah.
It's like anybody could get better at drawing.
That's better for sure. Yeah.
But just like, not everybody can get better at comedy.
Right.
People can get better at music. People can get better at, and this is just me just idolizing comedians. So,
right. Well, people can get better at comedy. Even bad comedians who I see 1 year in versus 3 year in are better at something.
I mean, you could get better at comedy.
They can.
But you gotta have that.
You can clean up the you could at least get more confident, which makes it easier to watch you do what you do. You could have more, even if your jokes aren't great, they could at least make sense, like as opposed to what you were doing when you were younger. I think there's a certain degree. You're not going to be a genius. You won't take it to the next level probably. But.
Yeah, what am I saying? You can get better at comedy.
It's got to be. Yeah, I just don't disagree. I just don't agree with that sentiment. Yeah,
but like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta have like a raw. You could get better at comedy, but you can't be, like, I don't think Louis C.K. was not funny. Like, I don't think he was like. I think he was bad at comedy, but he was not funny.
Something about how he was open up for Seinfeld when he was 19 or whatever makes me agree that I bet he wasn't that. I bet he was pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, you probably really funny if you're a Louis C.K. You probably already funny, but you got to figure out how to make that funny translate to other people.
Yes.
I mean, you could just not be good at music and then just practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and become passable.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you could be better than 90% of the people on the planet is what you could do, man. Like, it doesn't take. I've been thinking about this because I've been thinking about this like cooking thing I want to do, like a web series, and I think if you could learn like 20 recipes, you'd probably be a better cook than almost everybody that even if they were super simple and you could, but if you could do them by yourself without looking them up, you'd be a better cook essentially than almost everybody on the planet.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So I think there's probably a similar thing in comedy where if you could like, I don't know, the X factor is writing jokes. It's hard to write things that people laugh at,
Yeah, that's like, you can practice all you want, right? You can practice all you want by yourself, but you gotta like get that feedback from people. And I really don't like. I like talking to you guys because you guys are cool.
What's a me guy?
Well, like, you know what I mean, like comedy guys.
Oh, okay.
Because like you guys are cool, and most of the time you just either mad chill or you're trying to make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
Like in conversation.
Right.
Which I'm like, that's familiar.
Yeah.
If you're like talking mad serious, I'm like, oh, I can't relate to that. I can't.
I don't know. I really had to search up and down for people that I liked. I don't know. Did you feel like when you started doing comedy, people were immediately friendly to you?
When I first started doing comedy, I mean, everybody was like mad into themselves. Like, you were nice to me, like when I first met you, but everybody was talking to themselves.
I wasn't fishing, man, but yeah.
Like you, Max.
Is that who was like around when you started?
Yeah, that's who was around when I started. It was you and Max, and then Whitney,
right?
The actress, bartender there. Like, she was nice to me.
I like it. Even though like the only way you know her is the bartender, she's the actress.
The actress bartender.
The actress bartender. It's like.
I don't want to discredit her. I know she.
No. I was just saying, if you see her at an acting event, she's actress bartender. There, she's bartender actress. No, yes, man. I big credit to Eastville because a lot of the people they hire there are so nice. A lot of the bartenders are great.
Yeah, which was like a rude awakening when I went to other places. I'm like, oh, people are not like that everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Like, people are like mean.
Well, I already knew wait staff could be rude or whatever. Like I didn't.
Word.
I was like, I already talked to mean bartenders before I, whatever, when I went to other comedy club shits. But that is definitely a plus, man. Is that also, man, it's just always men. It's like to talk to any woman for 2 seconds is kind of like a nice break in your mind.
Oh,
from
yeah, that's great.
Staring at a man. Some fucking bald guy with a beard. It's like, all right, I want something to look at while I'm talking. Even if it's not just about like them being attractive or whatever, it's just some feminine energy.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like the inherent, like, I don't know if you feel this way, but how I feel is whenever there's a bunch of dudes around, some, like, they're trying to one up each other.
Right.
Always. Just like, oh, I'm funny than you. Like with comedy people, it's like, oh, I'm gonna make everybody laugh in here. I'm
right.
And I'm just like, let me just lay back and just, cause like I don't like that. So
no, well, I'm not competitive. Like I don't really have, cause Because I always lose, man. That's why. Like,
If
if I was winning shit all the time, I'd be much more competitive. Like, I can't think about life like that. Otherwise, I'd be
you'd be bad depressed.
yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I'm losing everything, man. What sense does it make to be competitive? It's like everybody's doing better than me. All right. You anything, man? You want some more water, ice, or anything like that?
Oh, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's beef jerky.
Yeah, beef jerky.
Yeah, I got beef jerky. You want some? I'm gonna go pee on my hands. Then I'll get you. Here, eat this because I don't like it. But if you don't like this, eat this other stuff that I do like, alright?
Alright, no doubt. Thanks, man.
No problem. I'm just kidding. You eat whichever you like. So you good at anything else?
Nah.
Really?
it's basically just this, which I'm like.
The art of making love? Nothing, man?
Oh no, I'm bad at that.
Bad at that too? What about, shit. What sports? You got any sports talent?
Oh no, I'm like really, really bad at sports.
Yeah.
to the point where, well, I told you I used to be like chubby and like had like titties and stuff.
No, I didn't know about that. You told what about being chubby and having titties? How was that like?
I mean, it was probably like the same, but then
right.
but they were just like, oh, you had titties.
Yeah.
You get like boob sweat and stuff like that.
Sure. You find it embarrassing to be to have tits and like be chubbier and stuff?
Well, I mean, only because when you play basketball, there's a team.
It's the only time
right
that ever came up.
Oh, there's a team that plays skins. So
yeah. This is what you're worried about in everything in life is shirts and skins. That's such a classic thing to
That's like a little kid insecurity, like. But I wasn't really ever too big into like, oh, he has like titties or whatever. Mm-hmm. Because I always used to wear ties and like dress shirts in middle school.
Do you have a uniform or what was it doing?
No, I just did that. I was weird.
Oh,
just
really?
did that. So
yeah, how weird are you, Jim?
Very weird. I used to do
what are the other people in the neighborhood saying about you, buddy? If I was to be talking to them right now.
Yeah, I used to wear that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, but then.
What about being weird? Tell me about being weird. When were you like aware of I don't know, some sort of difference?
Well, only when I was in middle school was like the worst.
Yeah.
Because I was like the weirdest. It's like when you're trying to figure out who you are as a person, and I realized, I just like weird stuff.
Okay.
I used to watch. Well, Star Trek is not that weird. I used to like watch Star Trek a lot.
Right.
Only because my dad watched Star Trek, and I wouldn't like Star Trek then.
I think you need somebody to get you into that and like make you sit there and watch 3 episodes or something, so you could start to understand what's going on a bit better. And I don't know. Star Trek was on my entire life because it's just been on the air continuously since 1960, like every second of the day. And I just could not, for the life of me, enjoy any of it, man. I couldn't flip off a show faster than that. So what was it? Just your dad having it on, like it made it bearable?
Well, yeah, my dad had it on, so I was like, I have to watch this. It was either that or news, and I didn't want to watch news.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, turn on Star Trek.
Right.
But like, I would hate Star Trek. Like I didn't. It's not like now. Like I love Star Trek now. Unless you probably know already.
I do know that that's.
Like I like Star Trek a lot now, but when I was a little kid, like it was different. And I used to like smell people's hair. That was really weird, Jason. I don't think you know.
What were you going for? Like, what was the? How old were you, and like, what were you trying to achieve?
I would say 12. And I was like, oh, girls have really good smelling hair because they like
shampoo.
You know,
they got some herbal essence or something going on. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and all the dudes like they like put the wave grease on, then they put the do-rag on.
Right.
Then when you take it off, it smelled disgusting because it's been under that
cooped
do-rag.
up under there.
Yeah, it's been cooking under there. So, but girls always just
tell me something. Elementary, middle, high school. How like white, black was it? Like at different parts of growing up.
Well, in middle school.
Where you from? I don't even know. Like,
I'm from Inglewood, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
It's in it's like Bergen County.
All right.
So, my school in middle school was mostly like black and Spanish people.
All right.
But then I went to like a magnet school called the Academies, and then.
Do they know about magnet schools outside of like the Northeast or whatever? I don't know if that's something that everybody knows about.
I don't think that nobody else knows about that.
It's like a specialty school, but it's still a public school.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, you're not that smart, but like we just want to make it seem like you are.
Well, there are like specialty high schools like Bronx Science or like Stuyvesant or whatever that are like you have to take tests to get into them and shit like that. You really do have to be smart, I bet.
Yeah, but
like that's not the way magnet schools are. Magnet schools is just like you can learn about like science specifically or something like that.
But like that's middle school was black and Spanish people.
Right.
Then high school was
what about elementary? What was that like?
Elementary was like the same thing. It was like black and Spanish people.
Right.
And then high school was like all different types. Cause we like where I live at is different like sections where like people are. So Teaneck, which is next to Inglewood, is like Jewish people, and then black and Spanish people.
Okay.
And then Inglewood is just basically just like mostly black and Spanish people.
All right.
It's like different now because it's like close to the city, so it's like people who go there, you know, to live close to the city. So, and then Bergenfield and Pagoda, that's like mostly like Asian people. So this magnet school brought like everybody here.
Oh,
so there was like Asian people, Spanish people, white people. It was like the most white people I ever seen. So it's like
really? Was that the way it was for you at that time?
I was like,
so you're
wow.
13, 14 or whatever like that, and it's like all these Asian and white people and stuff.
It's like crazy. Wow, I've never seen like an Asian person other than like, which is like racist. Like other than like I used to watch like a lot of Bruce Lee movies.
Right.
So I was like,
I thought you were gonna be like at the dry cleaner or whatever, at the Chinese restaurant. Or
no, like I idolized like Bruce Lee and like Jackie Chan and stuff. So like, I was like, oh, they mad cool. Oh no, it's everybody's regular. Everybody is the same. Yeah. So it was like, but like that was like, and like
Bruce Lee, what was it? It was something about being like small but so strong that you could take on the world. Because it wasn't like he was gigantic or something like that, but he was like as fit as he could possibly be. And then I'm trying to like think of what like is so appealing about him. Like everybody loves him.
No, he, cause he's mad small.
Right.
So he's unassuming.
Right.
So then people pick on him. It's like the underdog complex.
Yeah. It's like Bugs Bunny, where like somebody always has to attack Bugs Bunny first, and then he goes crazy getting them back or something. Like there's something about like the.
So he's always in the right.
Always in the right. Right.
He's like, he never instigated anything.
That's
People
right.
just like,
He's always just defending himself.
you're like, oh yeah, those people was messing with him,
Right.
and they ain't know that he knows all these different types of karate moves. I was like, oh, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
But then like you meet people, you're like, oh, everybody is like, nobody knows karate except for like people who study karate. Like
Closest thing to that, I think, is like jujitsu in the real world, where like if you really fought somebody, if they could get their hands on you, like maybe you could get a lucky punch or a kick in their face or something before they got to you. But once they start wrestling with you, like if they know tricks about how to like put your arms behind your back and hurt you and shit like that, I think that they're gonna have it on you.
yeah,
Even if they only have medium knowledge of that, you know. Like I just think like a year's worth of lessons of jujitsu would like put you. Same thing with like learning 10 recipes or whatever. Like that would put you above 90% of humanity and being able to defend yourself.
Yeah, because nobody like, expects that. Like nobody expects like a person to know like.
I think
karate.
everybody to this day is still like they're putting up their arms like they're in like a 1880s boxing thing. No, man, somebody's gonna if they really. If you look at the old videos from like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu family, the Gracie family or whatever, they have all these like these old videos where they're showing how their style stacks up against other styles or whatever, and they're like I think there's like 90-something% of fights end in grapple in some respects, because nobody's just going to be so good at striking that they're going to be able to knock you out with one punch.
Yeah, unless it's like that one punch. Is that one punch Bruce Lee thing real or is it not real?
Oh yeah, it's like the 5-finger death punch or something. Yeah. Where you could definitely get hit once and die. I think if somebody hits you hard enough with a bat in the head or whatever, yeah, I think you would die.
But that one punch thing is not. That can't be real. Or it can't. I mean, like nothing. Everything could be real.
Yeah, I don't know if you could break through a concrete like cinder block or something. You could probably break through somebody's rib cage or whatever. I don't know. Could you punch right into their heart and literally damage their heart that way? Potentially. I think more likely what you'd be able to do is you'd be able to punch somebody in the head so hard at some sort of fragile spot, maybe the back where their brain meets their spinal cord or something.
Oh yeah, if like different like spots where they're killing.
And there's always that thing where you could drive somebody's nose into their brain. I think that might be real, man. Like I think there's a way you could. Maybe that's more like that's more Bruce Lee mythology or whatever. That you could just jam somebody's nose bone into their brain and kill them that way.
I like heard that from like mad other places. Like you could,
yeah.
So I think that
it just might
real.
be a rumor, but it might be true. Yeah, I don't know about that.
But then again, I hear a lot of things in different places.
Like I'm the worst arbiter of all these things.
But I used to just repeat everything people said.
Yeah.
And so like people told me like, no, that's not real. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should research this shit. Maybe I shouldn't just spout out whatever people tell me.
Whatever. You got to rely on authority in life, It's like nobody could be so smart that they could look up every single thing. Like you just got to you just like listen to a scientist about it or whatever, and then you repeat what the scientist says.
If somebody with confidence tells me something, I'm definitely going to like parrot that shit to people.
Right.
I'm like, oh, like not even if they have like credentials. Right. Like if they're just like, oh, this guy looks like he knows what he's talking about. He has a suit on. Okay, he knows what he's talking about.
That's dumb as fuck. You shouldn't even say that out loud to people. You're being recorded. That's crazy to tell people that you're so stupid.
You're like, yeah, this guy has a suit on. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
Jesus Christ.
I think this is turning out pretty okay. I think I'm almost done with this. I'm not going to do the background.
Yeah, whatever, however you want to do it.
I think I'm just gonna. Do I gotta sign it? Or
yeah, so, you could do it however you want to do it, but yeah, just put your name on it somehow. What else I gotta ask you about, Jim? Anything else you're interested in talking about?
When I was in Spain, I got weed from this guy named One Hand Dan.
What's his name?
His name was One Hand Dan.
Alright, one hand.
Well, obviously because he had one hand. And one
yeah, that's not obvious necessarily. Yeah. What about him though?
Well,
which hand did he have? Do you remember?
I think the right hand.
He still had it.
No, the right hand was this prosthetic hand, and the left
right.
hand was he had that hand.
That's his real hand.
He like, but like it's mad weird to get weed over there because you got to go through mad extra hoops.
In what sense?
So like it's like mad secretive. I'm like, oh yeah, da da da. So I'm getting weed from him. He takes it out of his pocket.
Right.
He like tells me follow him. I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what he's saying. He's like follow me, and I follow him to this place. He almost looks like a brick. He opens like a brick out of a wall, and he puts it in the brick. Yeah. And then I'm like, he puts it like in the wall, like where the brick was.
Yeah. Puts
the brick back, and he leaves. And I open it, take the brick out, and I take the weed out. I'm like, why is it like Indiana Jones shit? Like,
yeah, that's insane. Is that the way everybody's doing it? This guy sounds fucking nuts, man.
I think it probably was just him.
Can't just meet some college kid and like go into his dorm room and have him give you something? That's crazy.
That's really weird.
You put it behind a brick though? That's kind of funny, man.
I'm like,
that's a much better story or whatever than
just a regular
handoff in the street or whatever.
But that was like after that I just didn't buy weed anymore. That was like I bought an eighth.
Yeah.
And I was only there for like 3 months. And for like the last month, I smoked that eighth.
Right.
Which is I smoked like probably like a little bit.
Just a little bit every day, whatever.
Like right before I went to class.
Right. Just get tuned up, want to get in that right that academic headspace.
Learn Spanish.
No, I would walk across campus like just smoking a joint between my dorm room and the fucking, because I thought I was like so tough or something like that. But then I'd show up in Spanish class just like reeking of fucking weed, and because I smoked the joint on the way to class, and then like I'd sit next to this kid and he would just laugh every single time. Like, you stink. Anyway, man, you finish your.
But I forgot what I was saying.
Something about Spain and you're buying weed over there, and then
the
guy was weird, and then you the eighth of the last month.
I smoked the eighth for a month.
Right.
I used to smoke it out of an apple, and I would eat the apple, which is like cool.
It's not cool. Little piggy, man, what do you eat that apple for?
It was like they're like you could, because somebody
so
told
hard up
me,
for apples.
Somebody told me he's like yo bro, he's from like Cali.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was like, I thought in my head I was like, I'm not gonna tell them where I'm really from,
right?
Because I don't want them to come, because my mom is a hoarder. So like I don't want them to show at my house, because then like if your mom is a hoarder, you can't let nobody in the house. Like,
I don't know.
Well, you don't know what that is, but like on my authority,
my mom's like the opposite. She throws everything away, you know. It's like keeps it.
I wish that was the case.
Yeah.
But my mom was a hoarder, so I was like, I can't let them know where I'm really from.
Right.
That's how I live with my grandma. But my grandma's in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was cool. So now like, now I have to keep. That's why I don't lie anymore, because like once you lie, you got to keep up with the lies.
Too much.
After that, it's like. It's not just the initial lie. It's like, oh shit, I got to remember what I said before.
Most of the time, you're not lying because any good reason. You're lying because you're afraid to have people know something about yourself that you're ashamed of, that you really don't have to be ashamed of, because everybody, people are going to think less of you because of something, and that's the way it's going to be. I don't. Usually, it breaks down to that in my head. I've been trying not to lie, also, man. It's
because I'm like, if they know, what are they gonna say?
I was a big liar, man. I used to lie all the time, and I steal all the time too. Like from stores and stuff. I'm trying to clean my act up a little bit.
Every time I talk to you, it's like I don't think that you would do that. Like you just so like.
I go to Borders in Mount Kisco, and like you get CDs, and like that's what we were listening to back in the day. And then but you take your key, you like jam it into the plastic case they had around it to stop you from stealing it. I go over to the poetry section, I throw that shit over there, and then the key to stealing shit is that you walk out with it right in your hand. Like you don't put it in your pocket. Like you gotta act like you own it. Like there's a psychological component.
The confidence
to it.
thing.
It's the confidence. That's right.
So they're like, oh yeah,
your confidence.
He
man.
bought that. Yeah. See, when I used to, I didn't steal that much.
Right.
But I remember one time, I had stole these lighters from ShopRite.
Right.
And I didn't know they had like plainclothes people in ShopRite. Like, so they just look. And I was a little kid.
I didn't know that. I still don't know that. Yeah.
They have like people walking around. If you see somebody in like the frozen aisle section or whatever, like just standing there.
Yeah.
They work at ShopRite.
Oh, all right.
So they were just walking around. So I go and get a lighter, put it in my pocket. I didn't smoke them, but I smoked cinnamon sticks with my cousin.
Like the sticks?
Yeah, like the actual cinnamon sticks. Yeah. Which like it doesn't get you high.
Did you hear they did that in France or something? What are you smoking cinnamon sticks for?
That was like when I was little. Like when I was like, I think when I was like 9. But I like, and then the guy was like, he was like, you know what your nephew stole? Because I was with my aunt.
Right.
I was like, I was like, oh shit, I just got caught. So he's like, empty your pockets. So I emptied my pocket, and it was like a 5-pack of lighters.
Oh, you went big with it, huh? You got the whole 5-pack.
I was like, I could have just took one, but she was like, oh, what are you gonna smoke with that? I was like, nothing. I just like to set things on fire, which I thought was like a better.
That was the little kid answer, man. She was like, ugh.
She's like, that's. And I'm thinking back, like, that's like worse. It's like,
yeah.
But was like, oh no, I'm smoking. She was like, no, stop smoking.
Yeah.
It's like, I like to set shit on fire. Don't
do that either.
It's like a precursor to like being like a arsonist, serial killer type thing.
They would say that you hurt animals and shit, then you're gonna go hurt people. I wasn't into hurting animals, I guess. So. I didn't know a lot of people who were really into hurting animals, I guess. Which is good.
Yeah, which like, you know, have any serial killer friends.
I was hanging out with the right people, I guess, yeah.
Remember, I knew one person, there was a squirrel, and he was, my bad. I did know one white person.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, before.
Thank you for being honest with me, man. We talked about this.
So, we talked about this. Yeah, I don't want to say his name, but the dude, he had a BB gun. He had like everything. He had like Nintendo 64 when it came out.
Uh-huh.
He had like everything. He had a big TV. We used to watch Sopranos. He had HBO.
Nice.
He had a pool. So he was in his pool. He had a BB gun.
Oh, he had a pool too, man. Was it heated?
No, it was like above ground, like Cheddar Trash pool. So, but
That
like for us,
shit.
I was like, oh, we got a pool, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Of course,
like,
it was
like,
impressing you, man. What the fuck?
Like put like a dock around it.
It was
and
not
everything.
even heated. Who cares? When I was a little kid, we had a pool also. It was an in-ground pool. Thank you very much. But it wasn't heated, so it don't matter, man. Like, there's 1 month a year you can use it where you're not like freezing your fucking ass off.
No, but that's still cool. In the
You
ground
think so?
pool is still cool.
All right. Yeah, it's cool.
I know I knew somebody who had an in-ground pool. I was like, oh my god, this is like opulence. Like this is crazy.
We were out there in Connecticut, man, so I think we had more room or whatever. You know, it was like more spread out.
Oh, you was in Connecticut. See, I don't like driving down Connecticut just because there's no like rest stops and that. It's like park areas, but there's no like rest stops. But it's like a strictly like driving through like New Jersey type thing.
I'll talk to the governor for you, Jim, man. I don't know. What do you want me to do, buddy? Don't go to Connecticut. We'll learn to get by without you, sweetheart.
Don't go to Connecticut if you need to use the bathroom, man.
Nah, you probably pee at the gas station and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he had a BB gun.
Yeah.
He was in the pool. It was just a bunch of squirrels.
Right.
He's like, I can hit it. And I'm like, no, you can't. He's like, yeah, I can hit it. He did like, bat. First one missed it.
Right.
Bat. Second one hit it.
Ooh.
Boom. Fell off the thing. He started laughing.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
So like you start. I thought that when I was a kid, I was like, that don't seem good.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because I knew another person who he threw a rock at a squirrel. He hit it. He killed it. And he felt like really bad.
Right. That's
So
like,
it's
yeah,
like-
that's what you should be doing.
Yeah, you should
or
feel
whatever.
bad. You
Yeah,
just killed
should
someone.
Feel bad.
He was like, oh yeah, that's hilarious. I'm like, that's not cool. I was like, there's something wrong with this guy. I think there's something wrong with this guy. But then his sister was bad. So
Oh yeah. Oh, so you think it's a genetic thing or something?
no, his sister was like good looking.
Oh, she
Yeah.
was good looking. All right.
So me and my friend, we was riding on bikes, and then when that 50 Cent song came out, it was like, I put Lamborghini doors on his sister's
Yeah.
legs. We just kept saying that, and I was on the pegs, and he had like mad tools, and he was like tossing them at us, like
Damn.
tossing the tools, like fast.
Huh.
Like to the point where like he was like trying to hit us with the like hammers and stuff.
Right.
And if he hit us with hammers, like
Game over. Right?
yeah, like I'm like you don't throw hammers at people. I gotta say like
He was
rock
throwing them
with
like he
it.
was trying to hit you with them.
He like trying to hit us.
Oh
with it.
yeah.
Like trying to
Ooh.
like really hit us with it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I
I don't want to
say
chill.
you might want to let this girl go, man. This doesn't seem like
We learned
she
after
got
that.
she got a pit bull. This guy seems insane. Like out at her gate. Who needs it?
But then when we got older,
Yeah.
We used to chill
You
with
fucked
them.
her anyway.
Oh no, that wasn't. I didn't do
no,
that.
right.
Everybody else did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't. But we got older.
Where were you?
Oh, I was the one with the titties.
You home drunk or whatever? Yeah, really? You were,
So-
you were just begging for shirts in gym class or
I was
whatever?
like, let me just wear a shirt, babe.
Yeah.
But older, when we got older, we chilled together, so he was cool then. But back in the day, he had like anger problems,
Yeah.
which is like when you're
Maybe
a kid.
people get over it too, man. I don't know. Maybe it's like your one way when you're a kid and then you grow out of it. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe he had like some other things he was dealing with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he definitely could have, cause him and his sister used to have like fights, like to the point where like they used to fight.
Oh,
He used to like really scrap, to the point like he took like a scissor,
Yeah.
and he told us this. He was like, I took a scissor, right?
Right.
And I tossed it at her. It was like, it missed her and it hit the wall right next to her head. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
you really, that's scary. Like, you like to the point where like,
I can't believe this kid's playing with fire all the time. It seems like he's gonna accidentally like hurt a person so bad that even if he's not sorry that he did it, or even if he likes that he did it, like he's gonna have to like slow down with that
Yeah.
sort of thing, you know? Just like people won't let you be like that all the time.
but now he works on cars and he's like brolic now. He's like really big.
so.
So he's cool.
God bless him.
So he found out.
And that little boy was Donald Trump or whatever. Yeah.
Like, I can't believe he's still like not in jail. It's just like, I'm like, whoa, that's. But he turned out to be cool. He turned out to be like a cool guy.
That's cool.
I think that was just like.
Oh man, a
childhood
lot of
thing.
times, man, it's like if you ever, it's like I was in high school, 13 or whatever it is years ago, you know, and it's like even if I don't really carry any grudges from anybody from high school, but let's say I did, like, and now you meet them now, it's like the type of the person you're meeting is not going to be like who that person was 10 years ago, really. Same thing with your parents, like you got your problems with them when you're growing up, and then you get older, and now your parents are like a little different. And like they're not the way that they were necessarily when you hated, you know, or so mad at them when you were a little kid. It's like I want to be mad at you still, but like you're not even
You're not
like
the
that
same,
anymore.
Yeah. I guess they stop parenting and they start like being like, "Oh, just do what you're gonna do."
Right.
I'm like I remember I used to be really, really mad at them for I don't know why. Just like they would just embarrass me, and then I realized like I was embarrassing them.
Oh yeah.
Cause like I would just be weird. Like I would just like be quiet. So I used to be mad quiet. Well, I'm still like, you know what I mean?
I was saying Jim.
But like I used to like not talk to anybody. So like when they start talking, like they're very, very extroverted, both of them.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, oh my god, you embarrassing me right now.
Oh
But
yeah.
we'd be at family events, so it wouldn't
Yeah,
be
they can talk to whoever they want to.
I'm like, you can
That's
talk.
what I say.
to
If you were my kid, I'd be like, fuck you. Go sulk in the corner if you want to go be like that. Talk to
That's
whoever
what
I
was
want
thinking.
to.
I'm thinking in my head like, oh, you were like, you just didn't like people. You just didn't like talking to
Right.
people. So like you just thought like every time they talk to somebody, oh, he embarrassing me.
Yeah.
No, you were just being weird. They're like, why he don't talk? Like why is he like just looking at us all the time?
I got you.
But then you grow out of it and be like, okay, now I see exactly what was going on. Now I'm getting to the age that they were. Well, I'm not. My mom had me when she was like pretty old, so I'm not gonna.
Right.
Yeah, she had me when she was 40.
I passed where my mom was. My mom had me when she was 30 or 31, something like that. So I'm like, I'm older than that. But then I'm still younger than what my dad was. My dad was 35 or something like that. So that'll be in a little bit. What's more fun for me to think about is that I've probably fucked more people than both my parents combined, man.
Word.
I think that's so funny. And they try to give me relationship advice and stuff like that. It's like, I probably had more girlfriends than both of you had like dates combined. And I've definitely fucked more people than both of y'all combined. There's no way I haven't. There's no way. Bunch of nerds.
Like
A couple of nerds, my parents.
He's like fucking nerd.
Yeah, seriously. There's no way. So, at least I got that on them. You know?
Fucking nerds.
That's right.
This picture, like, look, for some reason on this picture, you having the same type of face, but like little.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, but like, there's no way you had the
Beautiful
same
afro. Big giant head of hair.
Just like the same, just adult face. Just
Yeah.
like, you fucking nerds.
I didn't look that different.
It's like a beard and
You look like your
everything.
parents?
I think I look like my dad,
Yeah.
not like my mom.
I'm more
But
like,
like,
I like my dad too, yeah.
my dad is darker than me. My mom is lighter than me. I'm like the
Oh,
in
yeah.
between
Oh.
type. And then my sister looks exactly like my mom. So they're both like high yellow type people. I'm in the middle, like what is it like burnt orange peanut butter type.
Oh, I got some peanut butter, man. I think you're a little darker than peanut butter.
Like Nutella.
I think we're somewhere between peanut butter and Nutella, man.
Like
that
a peanut butter
Nutella. Yeah. I don't know. Like on the inside here, what would you put me at?
I say it's like it's tanner than, because you're not like white.
I'm pretty white.
Yeah, you're not pale.
I am. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I could get darker. I went to the Sinai Peninsula when I was 15, and I was outside all the time over there, like it's by Egypt, and I got a little bit, I burned for the first week, and then by the second week I started to get a bit darker, and then somebody asked me if I was like Arab, and I was like, no, I'm Jewish.
Oh, you look
and then
Arab?
They were like, ew. They were like, the look. They didn't say that, but the look on their face was like, ew. And I was like, oh, Jews, I'm not gonna say that again. I was so innocent. I was like, no, I'm Jewish. I didn't realize there was some kind of cultural problem or whatever like that. I'm like, gonna get hit with a rock.
Oh, they were Arab?
Yeah, obviously. Because that's what, they were like, I don't know, some Arab Muslim.
So
They're like,
Arab?
yeah.
No,
and I was
I'm
like,
Jewish.
no, man, I'm Jewish. And then they were like, oh, cool.
Not
This
a
lady,
way
yeah, no, she wasn't trying to sell me nothing anymore.
of the conflict.
Like, yeah, so, it's real hot over there. I guess they're right by Israel and stuff, so it's like, it's real to them.
Just a little innocent kid. But what do you think about my painting, bro?
Oh, Jim, it's amazing. Man, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I made it for you. I mean, who else would I make it for?
It'd be funny, man, if I started reselling these motherfuckers. I'm waiting for you to get any fame whatsoever, man, so at least I'll be able to say I have this from when,
You got Eric, you got Max up there.
I think I got a good shot at somebody blowing up and then me being able to resell one of these fucking things for
for like a hefty sum.
For $500 or whatever. How much I'm not gonna be able to retire on it, who gives a shit? For Eric Lerman or whatever? Nah, I like Eric, obviously.
No, because you got a good chance of one of them blowing up. They all got different comedy styles.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get more people, man. I'm gonna get some more people to come in and make this shit, and then I'm just kidding, of course. I'll treasure it always. Thank you, man. When the fucking building goes on fire, I am serious. Thank you so much for making it. It's really good.
Oh, no doubt, man. This was fun.
I appreciate it.
I'm gonna go try to hit up a mic though.
What's up tonight?
I was going to go to Metropolitan because she said that the both was
59.
Yeah. She said it was both running. It's a dope idea.
Bye. Yeah, just want to make sure that it was recording the whole time.
You just have